Carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide is turned into oxygen by plants. So, I mean, it has to be in the world.
Obviously, it's not all dangerous. Carbon dioxide isn't a dangerous gas, but when there's too much of it, it's a problem.
Carbon dioxide, even though it's a natural gas consumed by plants, it can be dangerous because, everyone says it has to do with global warming.
Behind me is the Holly Street Power Plant. It was partially closed in 2004 and officially shut down in 2007. Now it's simply a reminder of Austin's energy independence. What do you think about the fact that General Electric, one of Obama's biggest donors, that they get a waiver and they will not be subject to the regulations?
That sounds like politics and lobbyists at work. I mean, it's government, right? No surprise.
Sounds plausible.
Yeah, it sounds possible. There's no surprise about that.
General Electric doesn't need any favors from anybody. They're a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
Are you aware that some of these new regulations are also shutting down power plants, and this is causing some of the rolling blackouts throughout Texas?
No, I wasn't familiar with that, actually. Didn't realize that was going on.
Lobbyists make a lot of money striking these deals. There's a lot of things that we don't know. And how government, the tax breaks, the incentives, loopholes, you name it. So I think it's just one more to add to the list.
Well, as you can see, Alex, the people here in Austin, they're aware that their utility rates are going up, but they're not sure of the real cause. This is Darren McBreen with InfoWars Nightly News.
We've got it. This transmission is coming to you.
Waging war on corruption.
All right, you want to go?
It's Alex Jones, coming to you live from the front lines of the InfoWar.
Well, I'll tell you, the InfoWars command base is hopping with little info elves. I guess that makes me the pot-bellied Santa Claus, bringing information warfare weapons to all the little children out there and all the adults as well that want to fight the New World Order. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to go to Michael, Tommy, Jared, Sanchez, Matt, Jance, Julio, and others that were holding over from the last show. Then George Noory scheduled to be on next. Then David Icke, and the list just goes on. And you just saw some of the nightly news reports Darren McBreen has done. I got a bunch of reports I filed, reports Aaron filed. Occasionally we'll play 15 minutes or so of those to give you an idea what we're building, what we're doing here. If you haven't been a PrisonPlanet.tv viewer, you haven't looked at our YouTube channel, we're now reaching millions of people a week just on the free streams and stuff online. Our Bilderberg coverage got 3.5 million views on Justin TV alone a few months ago. Not counting the radio show. The radio's great. It's our regular listeners that know the truth, that are the heart and the core of our operation to reach the rest of the world. But it's the new people that all of us, listeners and myself, really want to get to. And that's where your donations at InfoWarsMoneyBomb.com or just go to InfoWars.com. You can donate there, find the free video and audio streams. That's where the difference is really being made. And I see that the donations are really starting to accelerate in. Normally the peak time is 5 to midnight for donations. And so if you haven't donated yet, now is the time. We're trying to hit $500,000. We've never hit that goal. We almost hit it last year, $437,000. And I hired 5 new people and bought all that equipment and spent well over $400,000 over there on the other end. But what that does is it guarantees us that money to be able to hire 3 or 4 more people, get the rest of the equipment we need. And my goal is next year to not have a money bomb, but the economy's falling apart so fast, I can either do that or then just add that many more advertisers. In fact, I had 3 advertisers I was supposed to plug on the show every day and most days and don't even get to them, so they just get refunded. I mean, the problem is I get so obsessed with the information, obviously. But InfoWarsMoneyBomb.com, if you want to support getting the truth out to an even greater level. Who can deny we're the tip of the spear? And I want to thank all of you that have donated. We couldn't do this without you. Let's go ahead and talk to Michael in California. Thanks for holding.
Alex, you there?
Yes, sir. Thank you for calling.
Okay. Thanks for putting me on. Thanks for being up for 24 hours for us. Try to get some sleep today. I want to talk to you about smart meters in the electric companies. I was years ago, long before smart meters. If you don't have enough power usage, they'll come and tap your box without you even knowing. Are you aware of this?
Well, I know they engage in all forms of chicanery and spying on you. The systems are spy grids, but elaborate.
Well, I had gone on a vacation, and I unplugged my refrigerator. I unplugged everything in the house. When I got back, my landlord said they had basically, broke the door down to the utility box room. The power company did, and they thought for sure I was manipulating the system. They even spiked my power. I mean, I had no usage, but a little bit. But that proves that they spiked it. So when I called the power company...
Well, there you go. They're using it for surveillance. I've seen reports they're using smart meters. If you're using too much power, then they SWAT team raid, and it's an old lady who's obsessed with fish and has, 20 fish tanks. I mean, it's all part of a surveillance society, the criminal government, along with the criminal corporations. Of course, it's California put this in. This was all Enron's plan, the same folks that gave us carbon taxes, who used to rape them for $1 billion a day during the summer, cutting off their power and then jacking up the price. It's just, we're run by crooks. And the sooner we figure that out, the better.
Well, actually, that happened in Nevada, of all places.
No, but I'm bringing up California because that's where I've seen the real horror stories, and you're calling from there.
Oh yeah, they're doing it here too. But now the other thing is TSA. I think you might like this story, Alex. I was flying home from Europe this year. Had to go through D.C. Don't ever go through that airport. What a surreal Orwellian place that is. I'm sure you've been there. I told them that they couldn't touch me. And they said, then we're going to have to go in the secret room. Have you had any callers or yourself been in that little weird room they put you in?
Well, I mean, here's the deal. I've said no to the TSA before. I've said no at checkpoints and filmed it and been arrested and things like that. But I had no sleep in Las Vegas. And they'd gotten me the Southwest Airlines business class. So it was like, I get to go bypass the line. And so I was late. And I come up and I say, I'm not getting the body scanner. And in a way, I wanted to document what the guy was going to do. And, he proceeded to do the groping. He didn't grab my, genitals because I was going to, really make an issue out of it. And I was saying I do this under protest and I may still do something legally. But he said, if you prefer, we'll go in the private room. And was pointing at it. And I've reportedly, they strip search people in there. It's every pervert's dream. What happened?
Okay. What happened was I refused to go through the microwave, right? And what they do, what they did to me is all of a sudden you can't go through anything. They make you wait outside the priest or the metal detector, and then all of a sudden they call it a guy who looks like Snoop Dogg, who starts barking orders at you, telling you to take off your belt, even though my belt didn't have any metal on it. They start. It's like a traffic stop.
It's a drill sergeant. You're in an arrest situation here to break your will and train you to be a prisoner.
So finally, they get you through there. They make you sit in a chair. At least this is in D.C. anyway. They make you sit in a chair in front of everybody. So it's like you're on stage now, and now you're on the torture stage, right? You're in the town square in the stockade basically there, or the chair. And they start. You can't do this. You can't do that. They want to know what your cell phone number is, and they just start swarming you, right? Here comes the manly woman. They got the manly woman who comes out, starts barking orders at you. I told them, you're going to touch me, you better put on clean gloves, right? Well, they did that. Then I said, you know what, you're not going to touch me. I don't want you to touch me. I said, you have to go in the private room. So when you go in there, I'm like, so what? They're like, all right, well, show it. You got to take your pants off. So you know what I did? I just did it Braveheart style. I just showed them my rear end. And then showed him my junk and said, here you go. This is what you want to see. Here you go.
Well, and, it's funny you tell that story because I happen to know a little bird who reportedly did that too. But, the issue is that freaks him out too because that's what's coming next. But you're not supposed to be into that phase of humiliation yet. And that's what the naked body scanners are. They lie to you and say, oh, we don't record it. They've been caught lying. Oh, we're not going to grope kids anymore. They keep doing it. It's all part of their criminality. Great job, Michael. Good to hear from you. Tommy in Tennessee, you're on the air.
How you doing?
Good, brother.
First of all, like I say, the wife and I go into a prayer agreement for the protection of the crew, you and your family. And Also, I live over here near the Holston Defense, and our local news ain't covering it. And I was wondering if you've heard anything about it. There's a lot of military activity going on around this area.
Where are you in Tennessee?
In Bristol, near the Holston Mountain.
Well, sir, the entire military structure is on total alert. For a month, they've been building up in the Middle East and building up in Kuwait. And Israel is saying that there's about a 95% chance they're going to strike Iran. I mean, I covered it earlier. Did you hear the show earlier? I mean, I won't blame you if you didn't because it's a long show. Israel considers preemptive attack on Iran. Netanyahu goes and asks the Knesset and cabinet for permission. Okay, that's Fox Television out of Europe. Sky. Here's AP, same thing. Israel test fires missile as Iran debate rages. U.S. troops standing by in Kuwait to back up Israel. London Guardian, UK military steps up plans for Iran attack amid fresh nuclear fears. And this is in a few of our newspapers, but not big news here in the U.S. Yes, sir, they are gearing up big time.
Yes, sir. Also, I heard you last week saying that you were getting letters and stuff about the TSA is not here, with their military checking cars. That is a lie. They are here. Well, they were here. I hadn't seen them in about a week.
No, sir. That's COINTELPRO, paid disinformation. They know full well that they're talking about an attack on Iran. They say I'm just making that up all over the web to make people who are ignorant think of this guy's a liar. It's all over your TV, all over your radio. They've had Army and TSA checkpoints in Tennessee and a surrounding 4-state area. I have it all on video in Police State 4, but it happened again, as you know, a few weeks ago and was national news. But they just say, Alex is a liar, it's not happening. And
you got a lot of info warriors here. There's a lot of people in the know here, so you have a lot of people listening to you daily and praying for you. But good job. Thank you.
Well, God bless you, sir, and I appreciate your call. It's great to hear from you, Tommy. I know I have a lot of people praying for me, and that really makes me humble because I know there's so many good men and women out there and so many children that write me letters that are counting on me to do a good job. And the system's just trying to overwhelm us right now. They really are. Jared in New Hampshire, you're on the air.
Hey, Alex. I had 2 points before I originally called. When I originally was going to travel to the UK to do a foreign program out there, and I went down to the consulate to report to get my visa and stuff, and I paid with my debit card, and they paid with my. I paid with my debit card, and they almost didn't want to take it because it didn't have the chip in it. But I only paid with the debit card because my bank takes care of the exchange rates.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. What's your question?
Have you had anybody call in and experience that before? Because I felt a little targeted.
Your phone's a little muffled. Just real clearly, exactly what happened?
I went down to the consulate to get my visa, and I paid with my card, and I paid. Yeah, they didn't want to take my card because it didn't have the RFID chip.
Yes. What's happening is banks are announcing dozens of new harassing fees. You're treated like a criminal. Every time I go out of town, my cards are turned off, no matter where I go. And I've got to call and explain who I am, that I did get gas in this town. I can even go to Dallas, and they turn my cards off. And it's just all part of this system. They call it security, but it's total control. And more and more, they're refusing cash, but also most forms of credit card. And then they're just going to force us into this cashless system.
Yeah, but like I said, they want cards with only the RFID chip. Like, they didn't want to, like, I had a signature on the back of my card. It was